Back Road Ministry, the World Premier, Mr. Mocky, coming at you from Antarctica, aka the North Pole. Now I'm still in New Jersey, live at the Kia Optima Studios. Everybody's tripping about the weather. And I talked to my auntie, because in Chicago it was like negative 25. And she said in 1985, they had a low of 25 around that time. So this is not the first time these things are occurring. We just forgot about the winter. The earth and the weather has been jacked up for so long that we forgot that in January there used to be winter. When I was a kid growing up in Chicago, you know, we had 1 below 0 days all the time. We waited for the below 0 day because that's the day that they closed all the schools. So we was happy when it was below 0. I mean, the sun was shining, but it was cold as shit, so you didn't go outside. So we were always waiting for that day because that was a free day out of school. But we've forgotten that wintertime is real, because you know, I think last year, before last, it was like 60, 70 degrees in January. That's not normal. It's supposed to be cold in January. Why? Because the earth is rotating further away from the sun in the wintertime. That's the purpose of the winter. The earth does its rotation, but we get farther away from the sun. So do your research on what makes the seasons. But with all the pollution, the weather control devices they've been trying to use, they've been trying to dictate how the weather is going to be on planet Earth. And it really hasn't worked. It's really caused a lot of problems. And now the Earth, with all the eco-friendly things we're beginning to do, is trying to slowly heal itself. And during this healing process, we're going to get blizzards back, and it's going to get cold. We're going to have real winters. So just like Game of Thrones, winter is coming. Well, that was the warning, because the winter is back. So just bundle up and enjoy the winter. For those who like the cold, enjoy the winter, but be safe, because you know, this is just normal. This is the normal way of things. This is the season for cold weather. So one thing I want to talk about with Jussie Smollett, this Jussie Smollett thing. I'm from Chicago, born and raised West Side. Jussie Smollett, apparently, I always call it apparently, gets jumped in Chicago by, I guess it was some homophobic people who's supposed to did this in Chicago. I don't know exactly what part of Chicago is. I gotta look further at the story to see exactly where in Chicago he talking about he got jumped. So let's break this story down, and we're not gonna use gematria. Let's use common ass sense. First of all, he supposed to be out at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, according to him, months before, he received death threats and threatening letters with aspirin broke up in him and all this. First of all, who the fuck is Jussie Smollett? Jussie Smollett has been in Empire and Alien Covenant for all I know. I mean, this is not no superstar actor. He's homosexual. He's openly gay. But Jussie ain't never had no problems while filming in various cities. Ain't nobody rolling up on Jussie. And in Chicago, you know, folks just don't roll up on African Americans like that, because we known to go right to your mouth. That's one thing in Chicago. You know, if the story had been about Jussie Smollett getting robbed by a bunch of brothers, okay, I would have bought it. Yeah, because you know, Chi-Town dudes were tested, notoriously known to pick on people and rob people. But this whole story of him out at 2 o'clock in the morning, these guys just so happen to recognize him. I'm in New York. There's stars in New York all the time that you'll see walking downtown, walking on Fifth Avenue. You see this all the time. Madison Avenue, they walk in. But you have to really, really be paying attention to recognize them sometimes. You'll catch a star here, a star there, but stars aren't that recognizable. In New York, they ride the train. There's plenty of video of Keanu Reeves on the train. He gives his seats to people on the train. I mean, because, you know, they're regular workers. I mean, this is their 9 to 5. They go from, you know, they go to the agents. They go to shoots in New York. Just common for them to walk around. Same in Chicago. You won't see a lot of stars in Chicago, but you'll see them. So it's real commonplace for them to kind of blend in. So, but if you ain't paying attention, you don't watch Empire, you don't know who the hell Jussie Smollett is. So you saying these guys were just studying Empire and, you know, getting Jessie's face down, so if they ever saw him at 2 o'clock in the morning, they'll know who to jump? Another part of this. So these guys were apparently supposed to be walking around with bleach. Now, we heard of acid attacks, which is the most common attack. but we ain't heard of too many bleach attacks. So they just walking around with some bleach in their hand, looking for Jesse Smollett, talking about, yeah, when we see Jesse, we're going to bleach his ass at 2 o'clock in the morning. Also, the story changes to this because they want really to get the story crunk. So they say, or Jesse says that he noticed that his attackers had on Make America Great Again hats at 2 o'clock in the morning. He saw this red ass hat. He must have been in a very lit area. Talking about he was going to Subway. So if he was going to Subway 2 o'clock in the morning, it had to be in a very lit area. So he saw these Make America Great Again hats on his assailants at 2 o'clock in the morning. And this is the issue. This is the issue and the problem. We are under the elite's game of divisive stories. And like I told somebody yesterday, they don't care who they use for the divisive story, as long as they can continue the hate. They would use Caucasians, they would use African Americans, and they always use somebody in Hollywood. So they got this young man, Jesse Smollett, just coming up actor, homosexual actor, who they got to be a part of this foolishness. So now he's running around and he's got to live with this. He's got to live with the decision of what he's done. And he's now part of the problem, because how can we ever get together as a people if Hollywood and politicians and your law enforcement all play into the story of continued divisiveness, just creating a reason why we need to hate each other, steadily just keeping the hate going. It's like in the book 1984, this constant war for no fucking apparent reason. So now we had constant hate, and for some of us, we don't even know why we hate the other person now. We just been told to hate, and we just go right along with it. It's sad that people in the 50s and 60s, the minute that you talk about us getting together and stopping the hate, how they look at you, because they've been used to hating for so long. I think in Star Trek, I want to say Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, when Captain Kirk says it, I had gotten used to hating Klingons. I just got so used to hating them that I couldn't see any way to love, because I'd hated them for so long. And that's how we in America. We've got to the point where we've been taught to hate each other for so long that there's no way in hell at this point we could ever love each other. And instead of teaching hate, why don't we work on teaching love? Why don't we work on teaching togetherness? Because as long as we're not together, the elite continue to win. As long as our up-and-coming African-American actors are part of this foolishness, the elite continue to win. The elite continue to win. I don't need you to constantly remind me that stupid people voted for Trump. I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for neither one of them. I didn't vote for Trump or Hillary. I wasn't going to waste my vote on two people who are totally not worthy of my vote. So I don't need this constant reminder, this constant thing of Trump is the worst president ever that we ever had. He is. What about the worst? What about the rest of them? Because we had a whole pack of them before Trump. Even the last one was not no damn goddamn Prince. He was just as bad. But you see what you want to see, and that's the problem. African Americans, we see what we want to see. We don't see what the hell was going on. What the hell programs did President Obama pass for the African American community? I'll wait. So, divisiveness. Either we're going to be the solution, which is stop the divisive rhetoric and begin working together, working on the problems, working on the tax issues in America, working on the educational issues in America, working on why people in Pennsylvania, these little small towns, what can they do economically to raise the value of these small towns? What do they have that they can begin to manufacture and sell to other countries, not to Americans? You're not going to make any money like that, you damn idiot. You can't make a money selling stuff to your next door neighbor all the time. Y'all just trading amongst each other. You never bring in any new revenue. That's economics 101. You got to go to the world to trade. The world has always been about world trade, not trading with your neighbor back and forth. Y'all be after a while you trading the same damn thing to each other. So using common sense. This is the world economy. The one world economy is coming. You can't stop it. They've been trying to go to this. But Americans got to get out of this idea that America is the only place in the world. Half the people don't even give a fuck about America. They go home, talk about us like fucking dogs. Go to some of these countries right now and get some of these conversations and see how bad they talk about us and how stupid they believe we are for voting for an idiot like Trump. We're the laughing stock of the world right now, but we think we're superior. We're not superior. We're not superior. So having guys like Jesse Smollett keep the divisiveness going, and they always do it right around the time of Black History Month, the 42 month, right around the time of Jackie Robinson's birthday, number 42, the nigger number, and that's what it is. 42 is the nigger number. It's a guy that called in on Zach's show where the police down in South Carolina call black people Bravo Mikes, black males. 42 niggas. That nigger number that they stamp on black people all the time. And right around February, they want to remind the world why niggas need to hate, and remind niggas why we need to hate. And as long as they keep us hating, they got us. When are we gonna wake up? When are we gonna wake up and start seeing and throwing the bullshit flag on some of this shit? Get your ass out the Super Bowl and start looking at the world for what the fuck it is. A staged, rigged, scripted bunch of bullshit with a bunch of sadistic motherfuckers trying to control everybody. And until we break the strains of control, we ain't gonna never get anywhere. So Jesse Smollett, you get the official fuck you for the day, fuck you for the year award, because you a total piece of shit. That's what you are. Peace, hair grease, much love, one love, Mr. Marky Back Row Ministry.